Borneo is the third largest island in the world and the largest island in Asia. At the geographic center of Maritime Southeast Asia, in relation to major Indonesian islands, it is located north of Java, west of Sulawesi, and east of Sumatra. The island is divided among three countries: Malaysia and Brunei in the north, and Indonesia to the south. Approximately 73% of the island is Indonesian territory. In the north, the East Malaysian states of Sabah and Sarawak make up about 26% of the island. Additionally, the Malaysian Federal Territory of Labuan is situated on a small island just off the coast of Borneo. The sovereign state of Brunei, located on the north coast, comprises about 1% of Borneo's land area. Antipodal to an area of Amazon rainforest, Borneo is itself home to one of the finest rainforests in the world. Etymology. The island is known by many names. Internationally it is known as Borneo, after Brunei, derived from European historical contact with the kingdom in the 16th century during the Age of Exploration. The name Brunei possibly was initially derived from the Sanskrit word Varun, meaning either ocean, or the mythological Varuna, the god of the ocean. Indonesian natives called it Kalimantan, which was derived from the Sanskrit word Kalimantan, meaning burning weather island. Prior to that, the island was also known by other names. In 977, Chinese records began to use the term Poni to refer to Borneo. In 1225 it was also mentioned by the Chinese official Chow Ju Kua. The Javanese manuscript Nagarakri Tagama, written by Majapahit court poet Mpu Prapanka in 1365, mentioned the island as in the USA Tanjung Negara, which means the island of the Tanjung Pura Kingdom. Geography. Borneo is surrounded by the South China Sea to the north and northwest, the Sulu Sea to the northeast, the Celebes Sea and the Makassar Strait to the east, and the Java Sea and Karamata Strait to the south. To the west of Borneo the Malay Peninsula and Sumatra, to the south and east are islands of Indonesia, Java and Sulawesi, respectively. To the northeast are the Philippine Islands. With an area of 743,330 square kilometers, it is the third largest island in the world, and is the largest island of Asia. Its highest point is Mount Kinabalu in Sabah, Malaysia, with an elevation of 4,095 meters. The largest river system is the Kapuas in West Kalimantan, with a length of 1,143 kilometers. Other major rivers include the Mahakam in East Kalimantan, the Baragto in South Kalimantan, and Rajang in Sarawak. Borneo has significant cave systems. Clearwater Cave, for example, has one of the world's longest underground rivers. Deer Cave is home to over 3 million bats, with guano accumulated to over 100 meters deep. Before sea levels rose at the end of the last ice age, Borneo was part of the mainland of Asia, forming, with Java and Sumatra, the upland regions of a peninsula that extended east from present-day Indochina. The South China Sea and Gulf of Thailand now submerge the former low-lying areas of the peninsula. Deeper waters separating Borneo from neighboring Sulawesi prevented a land connection to that island, creating the divide between Asian and Australian New Guinea biological regions, known as Wallace's Line. Ecology. The Borneo Rainforest is 140 million years old, making it one of the oldest rainforests in the world. There are about 15,000 species of flowering plants with 3,000 species of trees, 221 species of terrestrial mammals and 420 species of resident birds in Borneo. There are about 440 freshwater fish species in Borneo. It is the center of the evolution and distribution of many endemic species of plants and animals. The Borneo rainforest is one of the few remaining natural habitats for the endangered Bornean orangutan. It is an important refuge for many endemic forest species, including the Borneo elephant, the eastern Sumatran rhinoceros, the Bornean clouded leopard, the Hose's palm cebo and the Dayak fruit bat. In 2010, the Worldwide Fund for Nature stated that 123 species have been discovered in Borneo since the Heart of Borneo Agreement was signed in 2007. The WWFN has classified the island into 7 distinct ecoregions. Most are lowland regions. Borneo lowland rainforests cover most of the island, with an area of 427,500 square kilometers. Borneo peat swamp forests, Kerongas or Sunderland heath forests, southwest Borneo freshwater swamp forests, and Sunda shelf mangroves. The Borneo montane rainforests lie in the central highlands of the island, above the 1,000 meters elevation. The highest elevations of Mount Kinabalu are home to the Kinabalu Mountain Alpine Meadow and alpine shrubland, notable for its numerous endemic species, including many orchids. The island historically had extensive rainforest cover, but the area was reduced due to heavy logging for the Malaysian and Indonesian plywood industry. Half of the annual global tropical timber acquisition comes from Borneo. Palm oil plantations have been widely developed and are rapidly encroaching on the last remnants of primary rainforest. Forest fires of 1997 to 1998, started by the locals to clear the forests for plantations, were exacerbated by an exceptionally dry El Niño season, worsening the annual shrinkage of the rainforest. During these fires, hotspots were visible on satellite images and the resulting haze affected 4 countries: Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore. In 2010, Sarawak announced a plan for energy production, the Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy, to try to establish sustainability. History. Early history. According to ancient Chinese, Indian and Javanese manuscripts, western coastal cities of Borneo had become trading ports by the first millennium. In Chinese manuscripts, gold, camphor, tortoise shells, hornbill ivory, rhinoceros horn, crane crest, beeswax, lacquerwood, dragon's blood, rattan, edible birds' nests and various spices were described as among the most valuable items from Borneo. The Indians named Borneo Suvarnabhumi and also Kapurudvipa. The Javanese named Borneo Puradvipa, or Diamond Island. Archaeological findings in the Sarawak River Delta reveal that the area was a thriving trading center between India and China from the 6th century until about 1300. One of the earliest evidence of Hindu influence in Southeast Asia were stone pillars which bear inscriptions in the Pallava script, found in Kutai along the Mahakam River in East Kalimantan, dating to around the second half of the 4th century. By the 14th century, Borneo was under the control of the Majapahit kingdom based in present-day Indonesia. Muslims entered the island and converted many of the indigenous peoples to Islam. During the 1450s, Sharif al-Hashem Sayyid Abu Bakr, an Arab born in Johor, arrived in Sulu from Malacca. In 1457, he founded the Sultanate of Sulu. He titled himself as Padika Maulana Mahasari Sharif Sultan Hashem Abu Bakr. The Sultanate of Brunei, during its golden age from the 15th century to the 17th century, ruled a large part of northern Borneo. In 1703, the Sultanate of Sulu received the eastern part of North Borneo from the Sultan of Brunei, after Sulu sent aid against a rebellion in Brunei. Dutch and British controlled the Sultanate of Brunei granted large parts of land in Sarawak in 1842 to the English adventurer James Brooke, as reward for his having helped quell a local rebellion. Brooke established the Kingdom of Sarawak and was recognized as its Raja after paying a fee to the Sultanate. He established a monarchy, and the Brooke dynasty ruled Sarawak for 100 years. The leaders were known as the White Rajas. In the early 19th century, British and Dutch governments signed the Anglo-Dutch Treaty of 1824 to exchange trading ports under their controls and assert spheres of influence. This resulted in indirectly establishing British and Dutch-controlled areas in Borneo, in the north and south, respectively. The Malay and Sea Dayak pirates preyed on maritime shipping in the waters between Singapore and Hong Kong from their haven in Borneo. The British North Borneo Company controlled the territory of North Borneo from 1882 to 1941. World War II. During World War II, Japanese forces gained control and occupied Borneo. They decimated many local populations and killed Malay intellectuals, executing all the Malay sultans of Kalimantan in the Pontianak incidents. Sultan Muhammad Ibrahim Shafiuddin II of Sambas in Kalimantan was executed in 1944. The Sultanate was thereafter suspended and replaced by a Japanese council. During the Japanese occupation, the Dayak played a role in guerrilla warfare against the occupying forces, particularly in the Kapit Division. They temporarily revived headhunting of Japanese toward the end of the war. Allied Z Special Unit provided assistance to them. After the fall of Singapore, the Japanese sent several thousand British and Australian prisoners of war to camps in Borneo. At one of the worst sites, around Sandakan in Borneo, only 6 of some 2,500 prisoners survived. In 1945, the Japanese were defeated by the Allies. Recent history. Borneo was the main site of the confrontation between Indonesia and Malaysia between 1962 and about 1969. The British Army was deployed against the Indonesians and communist revolts to gain control of the whole area. Before the formation of Malaysian Federation, the Philippines claimed that the eastern part of the Malaysian state of Sabah was within their territory. They based this on the history of the Sultanate of Sulu's leasing agreement with the British North Borneo Company. Demographics. The demonym for Borneo is Bornean or Bornese. Borneo has 19.8 million inhabitants, a population density of 26 inhabitants per square km. Most of the population lives in coastal cities, although the hinterland has small towns and villages along the rivers. The population consists mainly of Dayak ethnic groups, Malay, Banjar, ʻbɔːrnioʊ, Chinese and Kadazan Dusun. The Chinese, who make up 29% of the population of Sarawak and 17% of total population in West Kalimantan, Indonesia, are descendants of immigrants primarily from southeastern China. In Kalimantan since the 1990s, the Indonesian government has undertaken an intense transmigration program. It financed the relocation to that area of poor, landless families from Java, Madura, and Bali. By 2001, transmigrants made up 21% of the population in central Kalimantan. Since the 1990s, the indigenous Dayak and Malays have resisted encroachment by these migrants. Violent conflict has occurred between some transmigrant and indigenous populations. In the 1999 Sambas riots, Dayaks and Malays joined together to massacre thousands of the Madurese migrants. In Kalimantan, thousands were killed in 2001 fighting between Madurese transmigrants and the Dayak people in the Sampit conflict. Largest cities. The following is a list of 20 largest cities in Borneo by population, based on 2010 census for Indonesia and 2010 census for Malaysia. Population data signifies number within official districts and does not include adjoining or nearby conurbation outside defined districts, such as, but not limited to, Kota Kinabalu and Banjarbaru. In other instances, the district area is much larger than the actual city it represents, thereby inflating the population by including the rural population living further outside the actual city, such as, but not limited to, Tawiru and Palangkaraya. Administration. The island of Borneo is divided administratively by 3 countries. The Indonesian provinces of East, South, West, North and Central Kalimantan. The Malaysian states of Sabah and Sarawak. The independent country of Brunei. 1. Brunei. Census of population 2001. 2. Islands administered as Borneo, geologically part of Borneo, on nearshore islands. 3. City population.de reports on official decennial censuses in 2010 for both Indonesia and Malaysia. Independent estimate for Brunei.